Again, I'd like to call the meeting of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission order on this Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. It is now 4:36. The meeting will begin. Can we have a roll call on tonight's commissioners?
Merrick,
Here.
Soto Presley,
Here.
Casperkey,
Here.
Myricks,
Here.
Bridge.
Here. For the record, we have all 5 present. Number 2, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 3, communications.
None were received.
Okay, thank you. Number 4 then is our minutes dating December 1st, 2020.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for the Redevelopment Commission for December 1st, 2020.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's our minutes dating December 1st, 2020. There is no corrections or additions to these minutes. And let's have a roll call.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopbridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 5 is homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. It looks like we have 3 applicants.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 3 applicants and noting that one of our applicants is a fireman.
I second that.
Okay, very good. We have a motion and a second. That's our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval for the 3 applicants as listed. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Yes, Ricky, yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopbridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Number 6 is subordination request approval. That is for John and Jean Lavasco at 1441 Delo Parkway.
Now, guys, on this one, there's a lot of questions. The math is, I mean, there's, the loan to value is certainly there. But we are extending if our guidelines are no cash back or cash out, we are letting out almost 20% this time.
I thought we weren't doing this anymore. Didn't we have a situation like this last year?
That's the slippery slope.
Members of the commission, Mrs. Andrea Lewis, the loan officer, is on the call at this time. If you want further information regarding the situation, she can provide it at this time prior to making your decision.
Yeah, I would allow Andrea. I would like her to speak because, every case does have its unique situation, but I understand at some point. But yes, if Andrea could give us an overview of this.
Okay, yes. Mr. Lavasco reached out to me telling me that he wanted to refinance and also receive cash back. When I informed him of our guidelines that there's no cash back, he stated that he read in our guidelines that they would take each case into consideration if there's something that like COVID is going on. So he said that they should take that into special consideration because he's lost money in his business due to COVID. And so he wants cash back to pay off some credit cards and vehicles, and I guess to stay on top of everything due to his financial loss.
So, Tony, can I just real quick?
Yes, please, Dave.
So I understand the guidelines and I understand the concerns of the commission. I just want to point out a couple of things. It's ultimately your decision, but this request was discussed with the administration, and there was some thought that, you know, I think needs to be taken into consideration, which is, you know, it's a $500,000 home. It was the first home constructed on the Deedlow Parkway area. We have had a once in a lifetime, hopefully, pandemic, which for a photography business, I would imagine hits that pretty hard. The last thing from an administration standpoint or from the standpoint of the commission, you know, this subdivision itself has been a huge success. And the whole Deedlow Parkway area, the last thing I think we would want is foreclosure sales or a vacant property, you know, going to sheriff's sale or whatever in that parcel. So from the administration standpoint, and again, understanding that it's completely up to the commission, but when I talk to like Mr. Talon, you know, we gave him Africa $5,000 forgivable loan. Is that right?
Yes, they received $5,000. It was new.
And, you know, the condition was he lived there for a period of time. I know from the administration standpoint, we'd rather help him out here than see this thing go sideways. So I understand the concerns and I understand the issue of the precedent, but in this instance with this property and the amount of the investment that this particular owner has, I think you wouldn't be setting a precedent, and it's more of a case by case basis.
Well, you know what? Until you said what you just said, I was against it, but you definitely changed my mind.
Well,
Glad to know I still have it.
I'll just comment on one thing. I definitely agree with you and thank you. This is a big investment, and it's gonna be a beautiful little cul-de-sac, small subdivision once all the other houses are completed. Yeah, I guess what I could just say out there, I'm not with COVID. This is kind of being a common practice, whether it's with this particular thing. I know 401ks, they have hardships where you can get in your money and annuities and stuff like that because of COVID. So being that, yeah, I agree. You know, this is just kind of a case by case thing, and I have no objections. I mean, I understand. I'm glad Commissioner Wally there, you know, points things out like this, but this is my thought on it with this type of investment, and to keep them in place and not them lose this big investment and because of COVID. So that's all. I just wanted to comment. That's all.
I don't, it's, I can speak volumes on what COVID has done to business, but believe me, I'm certainly understanding on that point. But in this case, our second mortgage is basically 1% of the value. And so it's, I mean, ultimately one can argue meaningless. And like I say, there's certainly equity there, and you're right, it's a beautiful property and all of the above, but we're still giving a cash back about 20% in this case. And I mean, yes, it's valid. I get it. And just as a thought, truth be told, with the amount of cash back he's getting, he could pay off the second mortgage and not ever have to worry about talking to us again. And quite honestly, with the amount of money he's getting, and everyone wants a free 5,000. I get it. I'm not. Believe me, I can use it too. So just food for thought. I'm not trying to sway anybody. I'm just saying if you play with the numbers, again, our second mortgage is 1%. We're giving out cash back of 20%, and he does have the equity. I mean, the fact that he's just barely over our 80% ratio, that's not a problem by me.
Very valid points.
Let me just counter, and Wally makes some good points, but I would counter that by saying that really shows you what happened with COVID with this particular individual by virtue of the fact that prior to COVID, he was able in 2018 to get this much equity in that house. Right?
Well, believe me, I told you, I could speak volumes on what COVID has done to business. I know, but it's a good thing he has the equity. That's awesome. But again, in something this large, our 5,000 should barely be an issue, which is a point on both sides of the aisle here. And again, I'm not even speaking against it, but it is a major precedent we're setting at 20% cash back.
So I have a question. Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. I kind of had the same thought in my head that Wally had. Because I noticed that the cash back is over 50,000. And that's setting quite a big precedent, even in light of COVID. You know?
I fully understand the COVID factor. Like I say, I really do. I just don't know how we get past the slope of setting precedent. Because, I mean,
I could see the refinancing end of it. I understand that.
Right.
I don't understand the out of pocket for $52,000 or more.
well, I mean, him having and using the equity makes perfect sense right now. Times are tough for the small businessmen, kids. I mean, they are tough. Believe me.
You get those little dots at the bottom, you can probably see more than one.
If this was a different program that he would have gotten the loan from the city for, I think then it's more concerning that the money comes out. But the program was designed, and he actually got a kicker because he built new construction. The program was designed to make sure he stayed there for 5 years. So we're a little bit over 2 years into it, because his deed is October of 18. Even if he paid it back, he wouldn't be paying back the full 5,000 right now. So I see where Wally's saying that kind of cuts both ways, but at the end of the day, he was the first guy into that parkway, and
again, I'm not trying to deny this. Again, I think the numbers speak for themselves. I just worry about the precedent. I'm not like I say, I'm not trying to kill the deal. I mean, quite honestly, in this case, I mean, if we just release that second mortgage, it would make the almost same amount of sense instead of subordinating it. But again, we are setting precedent. That's all I'm saying to the fellow commissioners.
Could we
Did right?
pardon? Hello?
I'm here.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was saying, you just made a comment. You said just release it instead. Could we do something like that?
It's the same.
Well,
It's the same precedent set. But again, our 5%. The 5,000 versus a $500,000 house is 1%. It's ultimately, the math is meaningless.
Members of the commission, if I could just make a statement. First, I would just ask if you're not speaking, if you could mute your devices, please, because we seem to be getting a lot of feedback. And definitely, I understand both sides of it, and it definitely is the job of this commission or the service of this commission to look at it from both standpoints. One of the things that I would say, though, is you're absolutely right. Our Attorney Wesson was absolutely right. I don't know if it's necessary, even though we're setting, it can be viewed as we're setting precedents. It can also be viewed as we're taking it on a case-by-case basis. We have a lot of new residential development that's taking place within the city of Hammond. And as Attorney Wesson has stated, that COVID was something that none of us was expecting. I mean, from the federal level down to the local level, it has hit us extremely hard. So I definitely this has caused a lot of extenuating circumstances to take place that otherwise in a regular climate would not. So I would just ask that you take some of those things in consideration. I do respect the standpoint that you're looking at, because it is definitely, you brought up some very valid points. But one of the things we, like Attorney Westland said, one of the things we don't want to do is potentially have one of the first houses in one of our major new developments potentially be foreclosed on, because I don't know if that would set a good precedence either. So the decision definitely is yours. I just would ask that the commission take all the factors into play in this decision, as I'm sure that you will.
Hey, Attorney Westland, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could either make a motion to approve or not approve, but could we, if somebody wants to entertain this motion, I'm saying, could we say it this way, like, and make a motion to approve this in a non-precedenting setting, case by case something like that? Could it be said like that?
No,
Well,
I would think no.
it could be said like that, but saying that doesn't really get you anywhere. So,
Okay.
I mean, I would just say the fact that your guidelines provide for a case-by-case basis, I think one could clearly make an argument that these circumstances are such that you could do it.
Okay. No, that's what I thought too. I mean, some of the union contracts I do, obviously we can do language like that I was suggesting, but okay, you cleared that up. So then I guess it's just whatever the commission feels, if there's
If there's no further discussion, I
Well,
make
there is. I'm, excuse me, Commissioner Myricks. I'm at the risk of sounding like I don't know, I don't understand. I really don't understand. So, I mean, yeah, COVID is out there and all that, and I'm not against all this, but so does this mean that if we get 50 other Hammond residents that are having a hard time and they're going to lose their home because they don't have a job, and they come to us and they want, are we going to, and they want to pay off vehicles and I'm confused exactly about what this entails. I keep hearing conversation about a possible foreclosure if we don't approve this, yet on this docket I see an approval for monies that are going to pay off cars, vehicles, expensive vehicles. I thought it was about a house. So I see credit cards. So I'm confused.
So he's going to take the cash and pay off all those bills that are listed. And I would imagine if he was on the call, what he'd tell you is the monthly payment from all those bills that are listed plus the house payment is killing me. And I can't pay them all.
And I would assume the fact that Quicken Loans has, I'm sure, pre-approved him, that's exactly the case. Well, I know it sounds like I'm the negative guy here, but
No, Willie, you're not the
even though I
negative guy
think
here
we're
because
setting
I don't
precedent,
understand it.
I understand, as the businessman side of it, I understand the need to try to keep things going. So I move for the approval of the subordination request on Deedlow Drive. I don't have all my sheets in front of me.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the subordination request approval for John and Jean Lavasco at 1441 Deedlow Parkway. If there's no further questions or discussion. Okay, let's have a roll call then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
I'm removing myself from voting. I am not understanding the situation. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
So you abstain.
I have to.
Okay,
I don't understand the whole what's going on here.
you don't have to say all that, you just abstain.
Yep.
Ricky. Keswick,
Yes, Keswick, yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes with 1 abstain. All right, thank you for Commissioner Westland, Andrea, talking us through this, as well as Africa. All right, number 7 is acceptance of bids for demolition of structure located at 740 River Drive.
Okay, so you have 4 bids that were received. And Cynthia has brought them to my office that I'll go ahead and open now. The first bid is from JM Industrial Services. As you know, they're located out of Hammond, and they bid $27,850.
Okay,
Second bid is from GE Marshall Inc. out of Valparaiso. They have bid $114,500. Third bid is from Acton Contracting out of East Chicago. Acton's bid is $53,400. And the final bid is Dyer Construction, located in Dyer. That bid is for $155,800.
So if I heard things right, we got a 20, a 50, a 100, and a 150-ish.
At a $155,800, $53,400, $114,500, and $27,850. So
Yeah.
we need to refer these to staff, and we need to have Mr. Button take a look at these to compare why. I mean, that's a pretty good variety. So
I move we
Yeah.
refer to staff.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the acceptance of the bids for the demolition project located at 740 River Drive, and these be referred to staff. Can we have a roll call on that?
Merrick,
yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes,
Casperky,
Yes,
Myricks,
Yes, yes.
Yes. Motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 8's approval of appraisal for Jacob Square. HRC owned residential parcels.
So in your packet, you have the letter from Ann Anderson, where she's reviewed Martinez Charmat appraisal. And because each of the lots is under 15,000, you don't need to have 2 appraisals, you just need to have 1 and then a review by a staff person. You also have an RFP, so you're just gonna authorize the sending out of the RFP at the appraised value.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Sounds like there's no further questions. And let's have a roll call on that.
Merrick,
yes.
Soto Presley,
yes,
Casperky,
yes,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, moving along. Number 9, approval of overlapping units report for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for 2020.
Members of the commission, if you look in your package, you will find information from Cinder and Company. We do have Principal Carl Cinder on the call, whereas he will discuss the information that's contained there in this report.
Thank you, Ms. Tarver, and members of the commission. Thank you. I'll just try to be very brief, but annually the statute does require that we present this report to the commission and for the benefit of the affected overlapping taxing units, which would include the county, the township, the schools, the city, and any special taxing districts within our jurisdiction. And so page 1 just shows the purpose of the report. There's really 3 things that we're supposed to do at least annually. We're supposed to at least share with what the commission's working budget is for just the tax increment out of the allocation areas. Number 2, what is the long-term plans for each of the allocation areas? And number 3, what is the tax impact on each of the taxing units? And we've included just a little bit more information just for the commission's benefit. If you go to page 2 of our tax increment, we show what you collected in 2019 for each of the various allocation areas at the top of the page there. We received a total of $6,173,799. Our first distribution in June 2020, we received $2,792,452. I'll just remind the commission, you know, there was a delay. The governor had in one of his emergency orders allowed for delay of property tax payments till July. And so the county assessor, our treasurer and auditor will be making their final distributions here in probably next week. I'm told on December 22nd. And so that will include the balance of any monies that came in July and August through November 10th. So I just thought that that would be helpful to keep this in perspective for the commission. Pages 2 through 5 show the various debt that the commission has in each of the different allocation areas, many of them related to various projects that the commission has approved over the years. And then pages 5 and 6 show what fund balances were on hand at the end of 2019. Before I get to the budget piece, well, let's go flip to the budget. That's on page 8, is really a working budget. The commission has not necessarily established a formal budget, but this is kind of a working budget for you for each of the allocation areas. So you'll see from gateways all the way down to state line, we have estimated your incremental revenues for 2020 at $6,453,000, and then total expenditures $6,453,000 as well. The biggest chunk of it is to repayment of debt service, principal and interest on the various bond issues for various projects of $4,012,000, and then other funds available has been budgeted at $2,440,000. Now I'm just going to flip back to the previous page. On 7, plans for the allocation areas. Currently, as I understand it in conversation with Ms. Tarver, that there are no plans for expansion or pruning of the allocation areas. They are anticipated to continue until their expirations by statute. There is one exception. I think most of you are aware with the RDA doing the double track. There is a transportation development district, and they have the authority to come in and establish an allocation area to help further promote growth in those transportation districts. And so they'll be working with the commission. They probably already had several meetings with you to kind of maybe outline an area where they may want to establish an allocation area. It could even be it's going to be an overlay of an existing allocation area, but that's only change that we're aware of that will be happening here probably in the next year or so. All right, and then the tax impact then is in Exhibit B and C. On pages 9 and 10. So at the top, the estimated capture assessment for 2019, pay 20, is $215,100,977. A lot of this captured AV would not, the commission would not be earning tax increment in these different allocation areas had you not created each of these economic or redevelopment areas for further economic enhancement and redevelopment within the city. So needless to say, we could say it's the but-for test. You wouldn't have any tax impact but for this, these incentives and these allocation areas that have been able to attract new redevelopment and new businesses coming into these different allocation areas. But needless to say, we did show here what the tax impact had we released and dissolved all of these allocation areas. It's about 31 cents on the tax rate. It's not a big difference, but it's something that we're noting, but we could always argue that it would even be less had we not had these incentives. The final page 10 shows on the cumulative funds. So these are property tax funds, which are a fixed rate. Those tend to be mostly the cumulative capital development funds. Again, shows that Lake County, the impact of the TIFs on Lake County is $67,542. On the city's cumulative capital development fund is $23,661, and North Township on their cumulative park and recreation is $12,476. I'll just remind the commission that in prior years, the school also had a capital projects fund, but several years ago, the General Assembly merged the capital projects fund with other property tax funds and created what's called an operations fund. It is no longer a fixed rate fund. It is It is subject to the max levy. So there is no direct revenue loss directly to the schools like there used to have been with the Capital Projects Fund. The previous page did show, the impact of the tax rate, but that's the only real impact, but no real revenue loss to the schools. So with that, that's a brief overview of this report. It's something that we need to do annually, and it'll be documented in your minutes. And I see you have consideration for approval of this report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
I just want to say thank you, Carl, for your overview in this report. It looks pretty good and to be in order.
You're welcome. Glad we could assist you.
If anybody has any questions on any of the pages that he went over, feel free now.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the overlapping units report for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for 2020.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's the approval of the overlapping units report for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for 2020. Can we get a roll call then, please?
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Hasbricki,
Yes.
Myricks, Hopperidge,
Yes, Myrick's, yes. I'm sorry, I had muted.
Hopperidge.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Yes. Hopperidge is yes. So motion passes 5 yes.
Before we go to the next item on the agenda, I need to open the house and I use my phone. I will probably drop off the call, but I will get right back on the call.
Okay.
Okay.
If we do a vote and then, so be it. But yeah, just get back when you can then, Greg.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Number 10 is authorization to enter into an agreement with the Hammond Boys and Girls Club located at 5840 Cayman Avenue for exterior improvements.
Good evening, Commissioners. As you said, the Hammond Boys and Girls Club located at 5840 Cayman Avenue is nearing the end of its construction project. They submitted an application to request the use of CDBG funds for the final public improvement of their project. The application was reviewed, and right now the scope of work to finish the project, they want, and I believe I put some pictures in your packets, but they want to put steel canopies on the front. They have a base monument already constructed, and they want to use the funds to put an illuminated sign. They also want to put more lighting around the building, so they're asking for electrical work to be done, and all that will be paid for out of CDBG funds. So right now, staff is requesting that you approve the grant agreement with the Hammond Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $95,000.
Are these funds subject entirely to our approval, or is there somewhere else?
No, just redevelopment approval.
I mean, I think beautifying Calumet Avenue and the new high school makes perfect sense to me. If there's no questions, Mr. President, I move for the authorization to enter the agreement with the Hammond Boys and Girls Club. That's all I can read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the authorization to enter into agreement with the Hammond Boys and Girls Club located at 5840 Cayman Avenue for the exterior improvements. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
yes,
Casperky,
yes,
Myricks,
Yes,
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 11 is approval of an amendment to agreement between the City of Hammond acting by and through its redevelopment commission and United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Thank you, Mr. President. A while back, we had an agreement with the redevelopment commission to build a single-family home on a lot that we had demolished a really bad house on. And the process has taken a lot longer than we expected. Originally, our construction completion date was to be, I believe it was June 30th. We have just broken ground within the last week and run into a couple more problems. But the fact is, extenuating circumstances have extended this project. So we were going to go, we're requesting to go to the maximum time allowed by HUD to complete this construction. And that would be extending from this past June through up to next December. Nothing else has changed except the construction end date. That's it. Oh, the property for, I don't know if you have the information in front of you. The property is located at 4313 Clark Avenue in North Hammond.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. It's listed there.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the amendment to agreement between the City of Hammond acting by and through Redevelopment Commission and United Neighborhood, Inc.
second,
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Let's have a roll call then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes,
Casperky,
yes,
Myricks,
yes,
Hawbridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the commission. Thank you very much, and happy holidays to you if you don't see you.
you
Same
too.
to you, Dennis.
Environment.
Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome.
All right, number 12 is approval of professional services. We have the appraisers, attorney, financial consultants, HUD/IDIS consultant, housing services consultant, and environmental consultant.
So members of the commission, as you are aware, the redevelopment commission accepted statements of qualifications for professional services as we do either on an annual or biannual basis to provide technical assistance to the Hammond Redevelopment Commission. And at this time, we'd like to make the following recommendations for appraisers: Martina Sharpman and Associates from Lansing, Illinois; Vail Appraisal Group from Maryville, Indiana; Valuation Services from Valparaiso, Indiana; attorneys Westland and Bennett from Hammond, Indiana; financial consultants Cinder and Company LLC from Maryville, Indiana; SEH of Indiana LLC from Munster, Indiana; for the HUD IDIS consultant, William Kubel, Principal of USONA Development LLC from Bolingbrook, Illinois; for the housing services consultant, William Kubel, Principal from USONA Development LLC, as well as Dennis Rosowski from Hammond, Indiana; for environmental consultants, Americo Inc. from Valparaiso, Indiana; and bioforensics from Indianapolis, Indiana; and Caramita Environmental Consulting Services from Indianapolis, Indiana. The agreements will be for a period of 1 year with a not to exceed fee limitation based on the particular requirements of individual projects. And staff believes selecting these consultants will provide the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and its staff with appropriate technical assistance as needed.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the professional services, the appraisers, attorney, financial consultants, HUD, IDIS consultant, housing services consultant, and environmental consultant.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further questions or discussion, let's have a roll call then.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, these companies and peoples. All right, number 13 is approval of change requests for number 1 environmental investigation at 4406 Holman Avenue.
So members of the commission, as you may remember, earlier or later this summer, I received a letter from Item regarding a property located at 4406 Holman Avenue, which was the site of a former gas station that had previously been remediated. At that time, you engaged BBJ for some environmental work to be done to close determination of a closure for that property. Since that time, it's been determined that 2 additional groundwater samples will be necessary to determine the current conditions of the site. I have spoken with Ron Noble, Environmental Management, and he is definitely in favor of it. So at this time, we come before you today to ask for approval for the change order request, and I believe it is for the amount of the changes for $3,800.
That is correct.
If there are no questions, Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the approval of change request number 1, environmental investigation at 4406 Holman Avenue.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. That's the approval of change requests number 1 environmental investigation at 4406 Holman Avenue. Let's get a roll call then, please.
Items on the agenda.
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casperky, Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Wally lost video, so 4 yes then with 1 absent on that vote. So motion passes 4 yes, 1 absent. All right, that brings us to number 14. Reports. Would you like to share anything tonight, Ms. Tarver, or anybody else?
I would just like to wish the commission a happy holiday season and just ask that everyone stay safe during this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I'll just cheat and say ditto. That's easy, right? All right. Number 15 are bills, the register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims for register of claims R59174 through R59424 for October 14th, 2020 through December 14th, 2020.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's our register of claims dating October 14th, 2020 through December 10th, 2020. Claims R59174 through claim R59414. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims for staff?
I just have a quick question, Commissioners. Is that the new bill list that I emailed out?
Yes.
Yes.
And then, so it has a patio. It has a gas grill, but I don't know if the grill works. And then, so it has a smaller yard.
Hey, Greg, can you mute
Oh,
yourself?
I'm sorry.
Kind of nice to hear his shtick, right? Like, he always tells us he's a realtor. Now we get to hear him in action.
I just got a question. I apologize, Cynthia. I've had a busy day. I just read the ones in my packet. So do I have the correct claim number? I mean, claim numbers.
I
I read-
emailed out.
I
Okay,
read
the one Mary-
59174 through 59414. Maybe that's not correct.
The
No.
one that Marion said is the correct one. It's the most recent one. We added 2 bills at the end.
So I am good saying it that way?
You do not have the right one. Marion
Oh.
said the right one.
Let
Okay.
me repeat that. It's R59174 through R59424.
That's
Okay.
correct.
All right, thank you. That's why I caught myself. I didn't get a chance to print it out. Okay, let me re-say that then. We have a motion and a second. That's the register of claims dating October 14th, 2020 through December 10th, 2020. That's claim R59174 through claim R59424.
Okay, the claims go from October 14th through December 14th.
Oh, December 4th. Okay. So with the correction, claims dating October 14th through 2020 through December 14th, 2020.
Correct.
That's claim R59174 through claim R59424. Is there any questions then concerning these claims? All right, thank you for your assistance and correction on that for me. Then let's have a roll call.
Merrick,
Yes.
Total Presley,
Yes.
Casbricky, Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes for the register of claims with 4 yes and 1 absent. Okay, number 16, is there any new and unfinished business tonight?
No, none at this time.
Okay. Number 17 is public comment. Public comment is open now. If anybody's out there, you have 3 minutes, you can speak.
This is Lavita Sparks Wade, and I just wanted to say again, happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone have a Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year, and I look forward to working with you all in the coming new year.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lavita. You look good on camera as well in person.
Old picture. Thank you.
All right, if no one's out there, then else that wants to speak, then public comment is closed. All right, then number 18.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by
Aye.
Aye.
ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy New
Christmas.
Year.
Have a good
Everybody
night.
be safe.
Brings you
bless
all what you want.
Happy holidays all. Be safe.
All right, thank you. Merry Christmas.
God.
Africa, Cynthia, just give me a call tomorrow for signatures.